Nice outfit, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought, my favorite shirt, it's a little loud or whatever. And I got these new pink headphones and the purple wig, even though it looks blue. I can't see it. So I thought, hey, why not? We'll go with the.
It works. Everything works.
Exactly. There we go. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate that. So, welcome everybody to another episode of Web Tools TV. If I sit like this, no one can see that hair standing up. But okay, so Alex is back. Alex, I think we should call this like Alex Month or something.
Or the aficionado month.
Yes, there we go. There we go. He said it better. If I try to say that, I might stumble over that word. No, aficionado. Wait, I did it. Web Tools aficionado. And I think I put a whole list last week on all the different titles we came up with for you. So for those of you who are not accustomed to the English language, expert is another easy English word to kind of sum it up to make it easy. Redundant word, easy. Oh, no, I'm not calling Alex easy. Alex is the expert. So Alex Yong, welcome.
Hey, Deborah, I'm glad to be back.
Oh, good. And I'm glad that you're glad. But today we're talking about, and Alex, I would love for you to actually pitch what you're doing. I think it's Small Biz Trends, and I believe our topic relates to that, but you can correct me in your kind of shout out and your promo there. But we're talking about live streaming. And Charles and I covered this, and I shouldn't really say Charles and I covered it because we actually had another guest that joined us. I would love to give him credit. You need to actually go look at the Blab. So Blab, what is it, .io/social web cafe. We talked about this topic, but I thought of Alex because to me, Alex is the expert. No offense to our guest. I'm sure that he knows a lot as well, but I am accustomed to interviewing Alex, and I know that Alex is very complete in his assessment and comparison and similarities. Okay, enough of my talking. Go ahead, Alex. Give out the promo for, is it Small Biz Trends?
Yes, I have a column now. It's all about live streaming, and it's called Live Stream Livelihoods. And it's monthly, and it debuted on Sunday. It already has 707 shares, and I hope that it gets to 1,100 or 1,200 by next Wednesday. And the last time I was sitting in this seat and speaking with you, the column was still it hadn't made its debut yet. So Sunday was a happy day for me, and so I wanted to let you guys know that if you want to visit it, you can just go to www.socialalex.com, and it will redirect to the column and everything else that I've done at Small Biz Trends.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Excellent. I should have known that because I know we chatted, but that's a great way to go straight there with the redirect.
Yes, and I wanted to just correct you because you had said blab.io. It's actually blab.im.
Oh. Thank you. See, okay, we didn't plan that, but that's my case in point. Alex is the expert, which is why I'm asking him to tell all of you, because I did that to Charles too. Poor guy, he's never been there before. It's like blab.io. Okay, I got to reprogram myself. I'll say it like 17 times to myself after we go off air. So I learned that. Well, then let's just jump in. And do you mind, I'd love to know the similarities and the differences. I feel like this is a college paper. Tell us the similarities between these two different theories in psychology. But, we've got Meerkat, we have Periscope, we have Google Hangouts if you want to be fair and kind of include all of them. We have Blab. Are there others out there that I haven't mentioned?
Yes, there are some smaller players. Off the top of my head, I can name a few. One is called My Eye, which I don't think is such a great name. It's just like it sounds, MYEYE, like, my left eye, my right eye. So it's My Eye, and it's backed by David Beckham, the famous soccer star from the UK. And then there's another one that's backed by actor Jared Leto, and that one's called Hang With. And then there's another one called Fire Talk or Fire Chat. And so there are all these like little players, and I feel that they probably have a tough road ahead of them because of Periscope's brand recognition and just the fact that they have the Twitter name hitched to them, and that's a powerful name. And I mean, even Meerkat, who's like sort of second banana, I mean, they're having a tough road ahead, even though the consensus is that Meerkat has better features. They have this cameo feature, they have a show and tell feature, but no one really seems to care because everyone's just so Periscope obsessed, and now Blab is sort of encroaching on that obsession because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're kind of tired of Periscope," and it's not even 6 months old. We're tired. We're kind of tired of Periscope, and we love Blab now. And so there's sort of this back and forth between Periscope and Blab. But then there are other people who swear that they love both, but they're very different.
I think that's the key. You know, I'm wondering if I haven't actually used, shame on me for admitting this, but Periscope and Meerkat. I think I went to go install it and I need to update my iPhone or something. And is that a major difference there too? Is because I'm wondering if the Blab appeals because of the ability to use it on the desktop. And now in Meerkat, aren't Meerkat and Periscope like device only or tablet?
Meerkat and Periscope are pretty much device only. However, you can watch replays on your laptop when it comes to Periscope. I believe Meerkat is just purely device only. And then Blab, which is mostly desktop, has a interface that works on a mobile browser. And while it's not the best, it still qualifies as both desktop and mobile.
Do you think that's going to set it apart moving forward?
No, I don't think so. I think what sets it apart is its ease of use and how it's all often compared to Google Hangouts on Air. And just when when the comparisons come out about Blab versus Google Hangouts on Air, I really kind of feel sorry for Google Hangouts on Air because it's just sliced and diced and just criticized to high heaven. And everyone just loves on Blab and just says Google Hangouts is, I don't know, the things that they say kind of really make me feel sorry for Google because, I've kind of, I mean, like Google Hangouts and there and me have been friends for, I don't know, 2 years now. And because it was the first sort of foray that I've had into broadcasting, period, I sort of have this soft spot in my heart for Google Hangouts in there. But people think that it's like on its way out or something.
That's sweet of you to say that, Alex. I feel the same way because I've been doing Hangouts now for so long. And the Hangout Queen product, I look at that and go, well, I mean, it's in the branding. Like, I'm still going to use it as far as any kind of live streaming. But yeah, I have a soft spot as well. And it seems like Google should at least get some kudos or something for sort of being the first.
Yeah. And I mean, all these pundits and all these predictions, I mean, who knows if they're even accurate? I mean, Google could pull something out of their sleeve in 3 weeks' time and say, guess what? Not so fast. We're here to stay. I mean, and let me just say about the hangoutqueen.com, I think it's really smart because I didn't put two and two together until you just said so, but you could actually still use the name, the domain, regardless of what happens to Google Hangouts on there. Because it's very.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you for the validation. Because actually, you saying that just occurred to me. I laid out one of these planners. You know that, Alex. You know me. I laid out like, I don't know, 9 topics for Hangout Queen. And the reason there's only a few articles is because I look at it and I go, what if Hangouts are not around? What if this particular application, like a whole application series on using different, the different things that you can add to Hangouts and how you can use it in your Hangouts. And I think, what if I write this up and then the next day it's not available? But that's a very good point. In this kind of writing anything, I could start covering Blab, Meerkat, Periscope, and still keep it going. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because what it is, especially with Blab, it's just people hanging out, literally.
That's true. That's true. It took me 45 minutes. Oh, it's funny when you're saying it's easy. I thought, oh my goodness. I wish that I did it with Eileen Smith, and I wish that she had recorded it because it was actually funny at my own expense. 45 minutes of Deborah trying to get on onto Blab, but I found out some great tips. So that should turn into an article to help other people so that they don't run into the same problems. But they're not problems with Blab, by the way. So I'm not picking on Blab, just your common things. Like I think I had Skype open and it took the camera, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw one Blab who had a guest on who was called the Periscope Queen, and she sort of laughed about her picking the name Periscope Queen because from what I remember, she was saying that she kind of likes Blab a little better now, and so she didn't know what else to do besides just laugh at her choice of choosing Periscope Queen as a name.
But she can still get the expertise as far as if she knows Periscope, she's going to know, she's going to understand how to use Blab more than the average person that hasn't done any live streaming.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just funny how these things come into our lives and then like the old stuff is sort of we look at it through a different lens because the new
Mhm.
stuff is so shiny and so fun to play with. And I mean, I think that if the tables were turned, like let's say Blab came first and then Periscope came after it, like I don't think Periscope would have won me over because now Blab is winning me over.
That's
Not that I
interesting.
was a crazy Periscope fan before, but
What are they called? Scopers or
well, they
scopers?
call the individual broadcast scopes, which is kind of annoying to be quite honest. And then people who use Periscope, I've heard scopers thrown around. I think the slang is kind of irritating to be quite honest.
Do you prefer Periscope users?
Well, I think I do prefer that just based on the requirements that I have to comply with as far as writing.
Hmm.
Like I can't say scopers; it just doesn't sound professional. If I
Right.
did, the editors would Skype me and say, "Yeah, no."
That's why if any of you don't know this about Alex, he is a journalist. So we just talking about like journalist rules and so forth. That makes sense.
Correct. Yes.
See, I have so much fun because in some of my articles, I just get really personal on the not really personal. That did not come out right, but as far as the first person and just the slang, and I think about
Informal,
yeah,
right?
informal. Thank you. And I think about that as I'm writing, and if I'm writing a paper for school, each paragraph has to have at least 3 sentences. It can't break over. I mean, there's all these rules for academic
Hmm.
writing. And I think I would never
Right.
get away with any of this. You can't, in blogging where you can just put one sentence by itself and that's okay. And I've seen
Right.
somewhere it seems like the whole article is one sentence here, and then a paragraph, one sentence here. You can't do that in other forms like journalism and academic writing.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the slang I could just live without, but I'll have to say that with Meerkat, it exists on my phone purely for viewing. I don't create on it. And with Periscope, I've created maybe 5 things or fewer. And so that's almost like not creating anything at all. But I figure that if I can just be sort of a hair better than the average journalist, then I'm good to go. I mean, I don't really have aspirations of being a Periscope star or anything like that. I mean, if someone wants to be that, then more power to them. But that's not me. And, I don't appreciate some of the coaches assuming that that's what I want to be and, giving me unsolicited advice about the content that I create. I'm cut from a different cloth. I don't want to be a Periscope star. Stardom
Mhm.
happens on its own. I mean, sure you can manufacture things like boy bands and girl bands and stuff like that, but I mean that's not the world where oh Lord, shoot us if we ever get to that point of manufactured stars on Periscope. But I think that as far as the stardom is concerned, people don't understand that with me, my goal is just to be a hair better than the average journalist, and that's really all I need.
And I think I love that. Applaud you on that one. As far as knowing who you are, Alex, and what your objectives are, not trying to fit into some cookie cutter formula. That's great. And you kept mentioning, as far as a journalist, you're not out there saying, I want to be a hair better than the best Periscope user. You're a journalist and you're using this as a tool in your toolbox. Would that be fair?
I think even more fair to say would be I would be like, let's pretend that I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. Meerkat, Periscope, let's say I was clueless. Now, let's also consider the fact that back in January, I was named a top 50 social media influencer for Rich Media. Now, that doesn't really go together. Like, if I was completely clueless about Meerkat and Blab and I still retain that honor from January, then it's inconsistent. So in order to do honor to that honor, I would have to know at least the basics of live streaming. And so, I mean, I'm sitting here and I can say to you that I do know the basics. And so, I'm at peace with that honor from January.
That's good. And I'm going to make an assumption, maybe not today, that people watching this, that what you just said will really help them. I know when you said that, I thought, wow, when I started, and still to some extent, I had 8 profiles when I first started as far as social media, which I don't recommend. It's impossible. And I'm not talking about 8 Twitter profiles. I'm talking about 8, maybe I should say identities. So each identity had a Twitter profile, Facebook, I mean, the whole thing. And it's literally impossible in 24 hours a day. So your advice, I'm sure, is helping people that are trying to distill who are they. And by the way, guys, I only have 2 now, so I'm down from 8 to 2. There's just Deborah Anderson and there's Deborah E. But I'm sure that advice really helps people that are struggling to figure out who am I, what's my identity, and what is it that I need to kind of shave off to have time for other things.
Yeah, that might be sound advice. I mean, going back to some of those coaches, I mean, if they had spent even 5 minutes just to look at my background and my LinkedIn or something, it would just clue them in that I'm not cut from the same sort of cloth of that whole entrepreneur wanting to quit the 9 to 5. And because, I mean, there's a lot of that on Periscope. There's an overabundance of coaches. I guess I sound like I'm going on a little rant, and maybe I am, but I mean, coaches, fine, more power to you. But before you assume, maybe do a little research, like the Geico caveman says.
Oh, I love that. I want to snip that one for a Vine or actually a Instagram. That'd be really. Yeah. Speaking of, do you think that do you see any crossover? Are people snipping parts of the live streaming and putting them on quite a bit?
Yeah, they do. Okay. And it's not even so much snipping, it's more like real-time multi-screen, and it's like a trend, and like I'm kind of over it already because not that I even liked it to begin with, because when you do a multi-screen sort of show, what you're doing is it's like this, Deborah. Remember the old days of you wanting a song, but you didn't want to pay for it at the record store. So you would take your tape recorder, press, record while the song was playing on the radio. I'm not holding it up. Yeah. And so that was, the poor man's method of, stealing music because he didn't want to pay for it. And so inevitably the replay would sound crappy, but, most people would be like, oh, that's my jam, just because they were able to record it. And so all this multi-screen stuff, it produces really crappy sound quality. And I don't know why it's a trend, but I mean, it happens multiple times. You can see me rolling my eyes, right? It happens multiple times a week. And I'm kind of over it. I mean, at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. They're, doing a broadcast of a broadcast, and like how meta, and like, that whole mirror in mirror thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. But then I think maybe by the 5th time, I was like so over it, just because the sound quality was just irritating.
That makes sense. We could do a whole show on just thoughts on quality, because I'm really into the quality, and if you have a quality camera to be able to film something, definitely use that. If you have a quality camera next to an iPhone, no offense iPhone, although there's some great quality, use the Nikon or the Canon, whatever, to capture that. But yeah, really big on quality. Wow, that'd be an interesting topic too, because I used to I did Vine. It's a long story. I will spare all of you guys, but let's say it took 3 hours for me to film a Vine, like 3rd-person camera hookup. I mean, I had hundreds of dollars of equipment to try to film this 6-second Vine. It was like, no, somehow the ROI on that time, that's not working. Oh, I'm sure some people can do that. But Alex, I can't believe the time has gone by this fast. I went like 4 minutes over, but it's worth it because I love talking to you and I love hearing what you have to share. One last question on the Meerkat and Periscope, though. Do you think that Meerkat would have lived like a longer success period? Because it sounds like they sort of opened the doors for Periscope. Periscope, yes, I can talk. Do you think part of that is because of the Periscope and the Twitter brand that sort of shadowed Meerkat a little bit?
I think that they were even lucky to be first because, from what I understand, Periscope was sort of ready or semi-ready to just rock the world even before Meerkat's launch day. And so if that happened, then Meerkat would have been this sort of eternal second banana. I mean, right now there's second banana, and that was after 1 month of being top banana, which isn't very long at all. But had they been second to the game, I think they would have been sort of this eternal second banana. But now they're sort of like, they have this sort of like faint hope of reclaiming the top spot, but it's sort of fading fast.
But they have their 15 minutes of fame. And I don't know that I can comment on income, but it did remind me, and I'll try to make this really brief because I'm the one that said we're out of time. But my husband and I used to run a domain registration service provider, hosting company, whatever. Again, another story, another time. But one weekend we were supporting Excel back, they're now Vartech reps, and they were selling free long distance. Now, Alex, we both know that's not something that is going to sell now with cell phone, Skype, all that stuff. But back then it was like, oh my goodness, it's free long distance, whatever. I set up a way for them to create like a mini site to sell the free long distance. Had a $3,000 day, one day, $3,000 just selling that. I think within 2 weeks or shortly after that, free long distance was no longer the thing. It was available. All these different things were popping up, and they didn't need the site. Now, they'd already paid for 6 months, but the point is, new sales were not there. Had I waited a week, 2 weeks, that $3,000 day would not have happened.
Right. And that's a good analogy.
Timing is everything. So if you have a great idea, even if it's not quite, even though I'm all for quality, if you have a great idea, but it's not quite 100%, you might want to pop it out there in beta at maybe 80 or 90%. Maybe you could be the top banana like Meerkat for a month.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder sometimes how they feel about that, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for joining us again. I think I'm so addicted to talking to you. I might want to keep inviting you back. The web tool.
Yeah, I'll come back.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So
find me, people follow me.
Oh, where can we find Alex?
www.socialalex.com.
Yay! I'll put some cheers in there in post-production. We'll do that.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, again. Deborah. Sure thing. And thank you all for tuning in.
Say hi to Michael.
Oh, I will. And for those of you that don't know Michael, he's like the invisible, not quite invisible green screen producer. He's he's the reason these even work, because I'll give him like at least 90%.
The maestro.
There we go. Right? Maestro Michael. I'm going to go tell him that. He'll love that. He's probably watching now and he's blushing. But I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert, but we make a team. So, thanks all for tuning in to Web Tools TV, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Bye all.
See ya.